Across the developed world, birth rates are plummeting, signaling a shift in societal values and presenting complex challenges for future growth. A global phenomenon, declining birth rates affect economies, migration patterns, and innovation, requiring a multifaceted approach to address. The fertility rate, a crucial indicator of population stability, is falling below the replacement level in many developed countries, leading to potential economic and social challenges. Fertility rates in countries like the US, Germany, and Japan are below replacement levels, leading to fewer young people entering the workforce and potential economic slowdowns. Mary and John have 2 children, maintaining population growth, while Jack and Lucy, facing high living costs, have just 1, reflecting a common trend in developed nations. Declining fertility rates transform population pyramids into inverted triangles, straining social services and economic growth due to fewer young workers supporting an aging population. Countries like Spain, Italy, and Poland face low fertility rates due to economic uncertainty and high living costs, threatening future economic growth and social stability. South Korea's fertility rate, the lowest in the world, highlights the severe impact of economic development on family planning and the challenges of reversing this trend. South Korea's financial incentives to boost birth rates have had limited success, underscoring the need for a holistic approach addressing broader societal factors. A shrinking population impacts economic growth, social welfare systems, and intergenerational stability, creating a domino effect that threatens societal prosperity. Declining birth rates lead to labor shortages, stifling economic growth and innovation, particularly in industries reliant on a young workforce. A shrinking pool of young minds hampers innovation, slowing technological advancement and the ability to address global challenges effectively. Perhaps the most visually striking consequence of declining birth rates is the graying of society. As birth rates fall and life expectancy increases, the proportion of older adults in the population grows, leading to a society where senior citizens outnumber young people. While a longer lifespan is undoubtedly a positive development, it also presents significant challenges, particularly for social welfare systems designed for a different demographic reality. Pension funds, healthcare systems, and other social safety nets, already strained in many developed countries, face an increasingly unsustainable burden as the population ages. Pension systems, based on the principle of younger generations contributing to support older retirees, come under immense pressure as the ratio of workers to retirees shifts. With fewer workers paying into the system and more retirees drawing benefits, governments face difficult choices: raise taxes, cut benefits, or find other ways to fund these programs. Healthcare systems also face an uphill battle as the population ages. Older adults generally require more healthcare services, and chronic conditions become more prevalent, leading to higher healthcare costs. This puts a strain on healthcare budgets, potentially leading to longer wait times, reduced access to care, and a decline in the overall quality of healthcare. The alarm bells of a demographic crisis are ringing loud and clear in capitals across the developed world. Governments, faced with the economic and social consequences of shrinking populations, are scrambling for solutions. One strategy, seemingly plucked from the pages of a behavioral economics textbook, has emerged as a popular, albeit controversial, response: cash incentives for having children. From the neon-lit streets of Tokyo to the historic piazzas of Rome, governments are experimenting with a variety of financial inducements to encourage their citizens to procreate. These incentives range from one-time baby bonuses, often delivered with the fanfare of a game show prize, to monthly child allowances that provide a steady stream of financial support to families. In Singapore, a nation grappling with a rapidly aging population and a fertility rate hovering around 1.1 children per woman, the government offers a baby bonus of up to 10,000 Singapore dollars, approximately 7,400 US dollars, for each child born to citizen parents. This bonus is tiered, with higher amounts awarded for subsequent children, reflecting the government's desire to encourage larger families. Across the globe, in Estonia, a small Baltic nation with a fertility rate of around 1.6 children per woman, the government provides a monthly child allowance of 80 euros, approximately 87 US dollars, for each child until they reach the age of 17. This allowance, while modest, is designed to offset the costs of raising children and provide some financial relief to families. While cash incentives may seem like a quick fix, a band-aid on a gaping wound, experts caution against viewing them as a silver bullet solution to a complex societal problem. The decision to have children, they argue, is influenced by a myriad of factors, from economic security and career aspirations to cultural norms and personal values. Simply throwing money at the problem without addressing these underlying factors is unlikely to yield sustainable results. Take, for instance, the issue of affordable childcare, a significant barrier to parenthood for many couples in developed nations. The high cost of childcare, often exceeding the average monthly rent or mortgage payment, can make it financially prohibitive for both parents to work full-time while raising young children. In this context, simply providing a cash bonus for having a child does little to alleviate the financial burden of childcare. It's akin to offering a down payment grant for a house without addressing the underlying issue of exorbitant housing costs. A more holistic approach would involve investing in affordable childcare options, such as subsidized daycare centers, tax breaks for childcare expenses, or flexible work arrangements that allow parents to better balance their work and family responsibilities. Moreover, addressing the gender gap in parenting and household responsibilities is crucial. In many societies, women continue to shoulder a disproportionate share of the childcare and housework burden, even when both parents work full-time. This unequal division of labor can make it challenging for women to advance in their careers and contribute fully to the economy, further discouraging them from having children. Addressing a demographic crisis requires a long-term perspective, a willingness to invest in policies and programs that may not yield immediate results, but will pay dividends for generations to come. It's about creating a society where having children is not seen as a financial burden or a career liability, but as a valued and supported choice. One such investment is in education, particularly early childhood education. High-quality, affordable early childhood education programs have been shown to have a multitude of benefits, not only for children's cognitive and social development, but also for parents, particularly mothers, who are then able to participate more fully in the workforce. Investing in early childhood education is not merely an expenditure, it's an investment in human capital, one that yields significant economic and social returns. Studies have shown that every dollar invested in early childhood education generates a return of up to $13 in economic and social benefits, including increased earnings, reduced crime rates, and improved health outcomes. Furthermore, creating a more family-friendly work environment is essential. This includes policies such as paid parental leave, flexible work arrangements, and on-site childcare facilities. These policies not only benefit families directly, but also send a powerful message that businesses value their employees' contributions both at work and at home. Section 4. Embracing immigration, a delicate balance. While encouraging higher birth rates among native-born citizens is crucial, it's only one piece of the demographic puzzle. Another, often politically charged strategy involves embracing immigration as a means to rejuvenate aging populations and fill labor market gaps. Immigration, when managed effectively, can be a win-win situation for both sending and receiving countries. For developed nations grappling with shrinking workforces, immigration can provide a much-needed influx of skilled and unskilled labor, boosting economic growth and replenishing the tax base. For individuals and families migrating from developing countries, developed nations offer opportunities for economic advancement, access to quality education and healthcare, and a chance for a better life. Immigration can be a powerful engine of social mobility, allowing individuals to achieve their full potential and contribute to their adopted countries. However, immigration is a complex issue with far-reaching social and political implications. Managing immigration effectively requires a delicate balancing act, ensuring that newcomers are integrated into society, that their skills and talents are utilized effectively, and that the cultural fabric of the receiving country is respected and preserved. Section 1. The Education Equation. To truly understand why birth rates are plummeting in affluent nations, we need to look beyond the surface-level explanations and delve into the heart of the matter, the aspirations and anxieties of the very generation tasked with replenishing the population. The simple truth is that the world has changed, and the traditional path to parenthood, finish school, find a partner, get married, buy a house, have children, no longer resonates with many young people, particularly women. Education, once seen as a stepping stone to a stable career and family life, has become a double-edged sword. As women have gained access to higher education and pursued advanced degrees in record numbers, their entry into the workforce has been delayed, often pushing back the timeline for starting a family. The biological clock, however, waits for no one, and the realities of fertility often clash with the ambitions of a generation determined to make its mark on the world. This shift is not merely a matter of timing. It reflects a fundamental change in how women view their roles in society. No longer content to be relegated to the domestic sphere, women are striving for fulfillment in all aspects of their lives, including their careers, relationships, and personal pursuits. Motherhood, while still a cherished aspiration for many, is no longer seen as the sole measure of a woman's worth or the only path to a fulfilling life. This transformation has been fueled by decades of progress in women's rights and opportunities. From the halls of academia to the boardrooms of Fortune 500 companies, women have broken down barriers and shattered glass ceilings, proving their mettle in fields once dominated by men. This newfound empowerment has come at a price, however, as women grapple with the societal expectation to have it all: a successful career, a loving family, and a fulfilling personal life, often without the necessary support systems in place. Section 2. The Career Conundrum. The modern workplace, for all its advancements in technology and globalization, has often failed to keep pace with the evolving needs and aspirations of a workforce that increasingly values work-life balance and flexibility. The traditional 9-to-5 workday, once the norm, has morphed into an always-on, hyper-connected culture where the lines between work and personal life are increasingly blurred. This blurring of boundaries can be particularly challenging for working parents, especially mothers, who often shoulder a disproportionate share of the childcare and household responsibilities. The demands of a demanding career, coupled with the relentless pressure to be a supermom, can leave women feeling overwhelmed, exhausted, and questioning whether it's even possible to have it all without sacrificing their sanity or their relationships. This conundrum is further exacerbated by the lack of affordable, accessible childcare options in many developed nations. The high cost of childcare, often exceeding the average monthly rent or mortgage payment, can make it financially prohibitive for both parents to work full-time while raising young children. This often forces couples, particularly those with lower incomes, to make difficult choices, with one parent, typically the mother, sacrificing their career aspirations to stay home with the children. This decision, while often presented as a personal choice, is often driven by economic necessity and a lack of viable alternatives. The lack of affordable childcare not only places a financial strain on families, but also perpetuates gender inequality in the workplace, limiting women's earning potential and career advancement opportunities. The cost of living, particularly in major metropolitan areas where job opportunities are often concentrated, has become an insurmountable barrier for many young people hoping to start a family. The dream of owning a home, once a cornerstone of the American dream, now feels like a distant fantasy for a generation saddled with student loan debt, stagnant wages, and a housing market that seems perpetually out of reach. The numbers paint a bleak picture. In cities like San Francisco, New York, and London, the median home price is often 10 times the median household income, making homeownership an unattainable goal for all but the wealthiest individuals. Even renting an apartment in these cities can consume a significant portion of a young person's income, leaving little left over for other essentials, let alone the added expenses of raising a family. This housing affordability crisis has a ripple effect on family formation. Young people, faced with the prospect of raising a family in a cramped apartment or delaying parenthood indefinitely until they can afford a larger home, are often forced to choose between their financial stability and their desire to have children. The lack of affordable housing options is not just a matter of economics. It also has social and psychological consequences. It can lead to increased stress and anxiety, delayed marriage and family formation, and a sense of hopelessness among young people who feel priced out of the dream of a stable, fulfilling life. Raising a child in the 21st century has become an increasingly expensive endeavor, a far cry from the days when children were seen as an economic asset, contributing to the family farm or business. Today, children are more likely to be seen as a financial liability, a bottomless pit of expenses that can strain even the most well-off families. From the moment a child is born, the expenses begin to mount. Diapers, formula, clothes, toys, doctor's appointments, childcare, education. The list goes on, seemingly without end. In the United States, the estimated cost of raising a child to the age of 18, excluding college tuition, is a staggering $233,610, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. This financial burden is often cited as a major deterrent to parenthood, particularly among younger generations who are already struggling with student loan debt, stagnant wages, and a volatile job market. The prospect of adding the significant expenses of raising a child to an already precarious financial situation can be daunting, if not downright terrifying. Furthermore, the rising cost of living, particularly in areas with high housing costs, exacerbates this financial strain. Young people already struggling to make ends meet may feel that having children is simply not financially feasible, forcing them to delay parenthood or forego it altogether. The math is stark and simple. When a country's fertility rate falls below the replacement level, its population inevitably shrinks. For a while, the impact might seem manageable, a subtle shift in demographics, but over time, the consequences become impossible to ignore. The once vibrant workforce, the engine of economic growth, begins to sputter as fewer young people enter the labor pool. Meanwhile, the demand for healthcare and social services skyrockets as the population ages, placing an unsustainable burden on government budgets and taxpayers. It's a global paradox. The very advancements that have brought us longer lifespans, better healthcare, and a higher standard of living have also, in a way, sown the seeds of this demographic dilemma. Education, particularly for women, has empowered individuals to pursue their aspirations beyond traditional roles, but it has also delayed family formation. Economic prosperity, while undoubtedly a positive force, has also driven up the cost of living, making parenthood a daunting financial prospect for many young people. The solutions, as with most complex societal challenges, are multifaceted and require a shift in mindset, a willingness to challenge long-held assumptions about work, family, and the meaning of a fulfilling life. It's not about turning back the clock or dictating personal choices. It's about creating a world where having children isn't a luxury reserved for the wealthy or a sacrifice that derails one's career aspirations. Reversing the trend of declining birth rates requires a fundamental rethink of our priorities, a shift from a culture that often prioritizes individual achievement above all else to one that values and supports families. It requires a collective effort, with governments, businesses, and individuals all playing a role in creating a more sustainable and equitable future. Governments hold the power of the purse strings and can implement policies that make having and raising children more financially viable. Affordable childcare, paid parental leave, and tax breaks for families are not just social welfare programs. They are investments in human capital, investments that pay dividends for generations to come. Businesses, too, have a role to play in creating a more family-friendly workplace. Flexible work arrangements, on-site childcare facilities, and a culture that values work-life balance are not just perks. They are essential for attracting and retaining top talent, particularly women, who often bear the brunt of childcare responsibilities. But perhaps the most profound change needs to occur at the individual level, a shift in mindset from a culture of me to a culture of we. It's about recognizing that investing in the next generation is not just a parental responsibility. It's a societal imperative, one that benefits us all. It's about creating a world where children are not seen as a burden or a drain on resources, but as a source of joy, hope, and the promise of a brighter future.